Yeah.
Sure, like जितना भी audience build होता है.
Yeah. I think people are joining in now.
Sure. Where can I see like people joining and all that? I'll have to go to the
You can,
YouTube.
you can see it here. The views live के साथ में बना रहा है.
I can't see it.
YouTube पे देख सकते हो. You can open YouTube and see it there.
Can you send the link?
Wait.
अच्छा मैं ठीक है तुम्हारे प्रोफाइल में जाके देख सकता हूँ ना.
You can see it there.
Okay, yeah, got it.
We have 3 people now. I don't know. I did animation sessions and I had approximately 50 people then. After that, it kept dropping. Don't know why. Yeah. Hi Leher. Hi Ajita. How are you?
Hi guys.
Yeah, it's increasing. People usually join in right at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah, hi Minka. All of these people are pretty regular. They join in every time.
Oh yeah. Give me a minute.
Okay, okay. Sure. Yeah, hi Rashmi. Someone's using my account. Yeah, hi everyone. Hope you're doing good. And thank you for joining in the final session of this first series of sessions. So this is the 30th time that I'm doing this. Thank you all for your support. And yeah, if you have any experience with Webflow, just write it in the chat and what you think it is, so that we can answer some of your questions right at the beginning. Yes, finale.
Ajita seems
If
to
you have
be
any,
a common
uh,
name, I guess.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, she's a friend from
Ah.
previous job.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you have any knowledge of what you think of Webflow, just write it in the chat. And if you are joining in, please like the stream so that more people can join in.
I think like we should be beginning at like 6:05, no?
Yeah. We'll
Okay.
wait for another 2-3 minutes. We'll wait
Sure.
if people have any questions, so that we can get started.
Yeah. Just a disclaimer, guys, that if ever you have some idea about or you have fiddled around with Webflow, this session might not be for you because this is very introductory, very basic. So yeah, that's just a disclaimer for you guys. Yeah.
I mean, guys used a very long acronym. Can you decode it for me?
Seems like yeah works. Some this I always
What you see is what you get.
yeah. What you see is what you get. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a visual tool.
I use a template based to start with. You can also learn a lot with templates. Yeah, you don't need to have coding knowledge. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Hey, can you cast these things for the time being?
Yeah.
Sure.
I have some resources linked in the description. You can refer to them if you want to get started, or if you want some templates, ready to go template, and some tutorials also. All right, I think we can start now. We'll have people joining in later.
Yep, I think
Okay,
we have.
so yeah, hello everyone. So I'll just give a brief introduction of Shubham to start with. And this is the 30th session, and I wanted, someone who I have worked with, not worked with, virtually connected with, or have connected with over the past 6 7 months during these sessions. I wanted to conclude with someone who I know personally. So Shubham is one of those people, and I started out in April, and I discovered about Shubham's website, which is All Design Events, and I started putting out my events there as well. So that really helped me gain some momentum in registrations for the sessions. And yeah, ever since we have been going back and forth, and I learned that Shubham built that on Webflow. So I wanted him to, give guide you all to to building a website on Webflow. So it is really good for making portfolio projects, or even a small landing website that you can, send to recruiters and prospect clients. So yeah, Shubham will take it up from here, and I hope that it is an enjoyable session for you. I don't think we'll get the audience that we thought of. So yeah, let us see what we can build today, and we'll walk you through building a simple website, and Shubham will walk you through basics. So yeah, over to you, Shubham.
Thank you so much, Karan. And just before we begin, I think we should all congratulate Karan for having the 30th session. And I think like this kind of consistency requires some kind of applause. So I think if ever you can do Karan OP in the chat, so that will be really great. So yeah, truly Karan OP, because he truly is a Figma wizard. So whenever I get stuck somewhere in Figma, so Karan comes to the rescue. So yeah, and over these 30 sessions, I believe that he must be helpful for many of you. And yeah, so Karan OP in the chat, guys. And yeah, so so before
Thank
I
you.
begin, I'll start with some sort of disclaimers, basically. So if ever you have just joined in, so and you have some idea and you have made some projects around Webflow, this session might not be for you because it's very introductory. And I'm also learning Figma. I'm also learning Webflow on the way. So whatever I've learned so far, so this will be an amalgamation of that. And apart from that, I'll be walking you through the basic workflow of how I built all design events. And apart from that, we'll also build a sample page. So that will give you some sort of an idea, okay, on how you can structure your web pages and projects on Figma, on Webflow. I don't know why it's your effect, Karan. I guess I'm talking about Figma all the time. Okay. Shall I share
Yeah,
my screen?
yeah, all right.
Okay, cool. Is my
I've
screen
added it.
visible? Yeah. Is my screen visible to you guys?
Yeah, it's visible now.
Okay, cool. I've made a very small presentation and I'm a little unprepared for this session. So bear with me if ever I make any mistake. So this particular session is all about introduction to Webflow. As you may know that Webflow is a no-code tool. So I'll just walk you through the basic structure of this whole session. I'll keep it very concise and brief. So this is the whole agenda of this session, where I'll be talking about the interface, and I'll walk you through how the interface of Webflow looks like, and how I've made a very small and a helpful project in with Webflow. That is all design events, where I curate all the design events that are happening around us, and then we'll also make a sample web page on Webflow. And then lastly, we'll talk about some tips and tricks and resources to learn Webflow that can be helpful in your journey. Now, the second thing that let's talk very briefly about Webflow. So, how I am assuming that some of you guys, like told in the comment section that okay, this is a like the way you see it, it's a visual tool for building websites. Yes, you are spot on over there. So it's a no code tool, and it kind of made no code a rage in the industry, because that, I believe that this was one of its kind, where you will be you were getting some kind of database capability. So if you ask me about how it is different from WordPress, Wix, or Squarespace kind of a website, visual builder tools, website builders tools. So it is, though it is quite similar, because you can build your website visually with templates and all of that, but it gives you database capability, and that's the main USP of that. So you can have it. It has content management system capability inbuilt in it, though you'll have to pay for it. But this is pretty good, and you can build certain type of logics into that. So that's where Webflow makes its own space in the no code area. Now, let's see some of the websites that you can build on Webflow. I'll walk you through three different kind of websites that are built on Webflow, and you might, because if ever you are in the Indian design sphere, so you might have heard of most of these. So I'll just show you. So this is uisources.com from Abhinav Chikkara. So this is the kind of website that he has built with Webflow, and it's entirely built on Webflow. All the things, the data that you see on this website is getting from the Webflow CMS. And I'll just walk you through this website. So if you see that it is good enough to create landing pages, beautiful looking landing pages, and over here, all of that integration. And apart from that, there are certain aspects that make Webflow even good. Even more good is the integration with certain tools like Zapier and all of that, where you can build cross-functional websites, right? So if you see, there are a couple of things over here. You can have filtering options like this, but you'll require a pro membership for this to see it. Yeah. And you can have search option as well with multiple integrations. So this is one of the websites that is built on Webflow. The other website is All Design Events. It's a simple website where I curate all the design events, where I have all these design events happening around you. And you can subscribe to the mailing list as well, and you can see past event blogs. And if ever you have missed out on some past events, you can see that as well, right? Uh, Apart from that, I believe that you must have encountered this website, this portfolio website of Chetan. This is built entirely. This is a very beautiful, slick-looking interface that is entirely built on Webflow. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So if you see,
Yeah, and just one thing.
yeah,
Yeah, sorry to
yeah,
interrupt. Just one thing here. If you want to use a ready to start with template, I think you can visit webflow.com/design pilot. I guess I used a template wherein Chetan had, made it free for all of us, and I have used it for my own portfolio building as well.
hmm,
So you can start with that. It has all the animations, everything looks very similar to this website that you see, but there are some something that are templatized. So yeah,
hmm,
you can go to the link in the description. I have it linked, and
yeah.
copy that template from there. Yeah.
Yeah, and he even has Webflow courses. Either I guess that it's on YouTube as well. If you go to Design Pilot, you can get it there. And if you see over here, you can have these kind of Easter eggs that he has put in his website. This fun, fancy looking Easter egg, right? That makes your portfolio websites even better. And if you see over here, they're like, the scroll is very smooth. You have these kind of interactions. So the possibilities with Webflow are immense, and you can make curation websites like these, and even portfolio websites, and even you can make e-commerce websites. So that Webflow has that support as well. And if you opt for the paid plan, you can even export your code. So the code that you will be getting out of Webflow is very clean, very structured, so that you can use as well. So yeah, so these are the three websites that you can look for inspiration and what Webflow can do. uh, Now, let's talk about the interface. How does a Webflow interface when you opt for a paid plan or even a free plan? So one good thing is that if ever you want to try it out, it's free. It's free to use. But if ever you can publish your websites to webflow.io subdomain, IO domain. And but if ever you want to have custom domain support like uisources.com, chetankvs.design, alldesignevents.co, so you will have to go for a paid plan. I'll also walk you through the pricing plans of this because it is somehow sometimes very confusing. So yeah, this is the dashboard looks. This is how the dashboard looks like for Webflow right now. If ever you have, so right now I have two projects. You can have in your free plans. You can also have two projects for free, but all of that will be published in Webflow.io domain. So I'll just walk you through how my all design events website is structured over here. Just wanted to check like everything is fine. My voice is smooth and audible, right?
Yeah, it's
Right.
audible.
It's right.
People usually mention it if it is not.
Okay, sure. So this is how the all design events website looks like, and this is entirely built on Webflow. That's very obvious. Okay, and this is where the magic happens around all the structure that you want to have on the web page. And this is the right panel where you can have your CSS properties where okay, one thing that I would want to mention that if ever you have some sort of web development knowledge as in HTML and CSS, that is very helpful because the layouting is the layouting is that way. But even if you don't have that, the learning curve is somewhat bit high, but you can get there. That's one thing that you need to have in mind. But if even if you don't have HTML CSS knowledge, that's also fine because it's visually built, right? Over here, if you see the top panel over here, you can see different breakpoints of tablet, uh, landscape mode, and the mobile portrait mode, and this is how it can look like, and you can even see how it will scale up to like these, right? And yeah, apart from that, over here, if you see, these are the elements you want to put into your website. Like if ever you want to have a section or two column layout, or a dev block, even typography, heading, collections, media, and everything, all sort of things over here. Uh, I haven't used symbols yet, so I am not qualified to talk about it. This is your entire website structure. I'll just expand everything up for you guys to see how it is structured right now. And with this kind of a structure, I was able to have a curation website ready. So it's very slick that way. Uh, Over here, these are my databases. This is how so I have curated over 190 events so far, and this is how my database looks like. I'll just show you how I this is the database where I'm curating all the events. This is the title, and you can have all the schema over here like that. Mm, Below that, this is all your media, and then you have all the backups and such kind of things. So this is the left pane of it. Now let's suppose over here, when you select any element that you want to style, these are all this is the CSS classes that you can have. This is the layout properties. Uh, Over here is the spacing system, size, position, typography, and all the things that you want to control when it comes to styling can be controlled from here. Now let me walk you through how simple it is to add an event onto this, right? So first of all, I'll walk you through how to create a CMS as well, how to create a database. So over here, I've already created a database. This week's event is where the database name is. Now let's suppose I want to add a new event. So let's say a sample event is the event title. Custom fields, location is where I say online. Date is where I can select, okay, let's suppose 22. Event link, I'm just putting it youtube.com. Date, again, this is not a mandatory field. Time, this is also not a mandatory field for me right now. Price is free. Online organizer is Karan, and this description is auto, and I'll just create that. And this is stage for publish. Now, if you go to the website over here, this comes like this. So dev block, the access is free, a sample event, the title, location, date, and registration link. Now, whenever I have to see it, I'll just publish to the selected domains. Right now, this was my first project on Webflow, so this is how it was built, and publish to the selected domains.
Yeah, there's a question, Shubham, that how do
Yeah,
you define the fields or are they preset?
yeah, sure. I'll walk you through how you can define those fields over here. So you'll have to set it up for the very first time. I'll show you when we'll build the custom the sample page, right? Now if you
Okay,
see,
great.
if you come, yeah, if you come to here, that particular thing will come here like that. So it's as simple as that. You just set up your database for the very first time, and then you add into that field. And one good thing about it, about this particular thing is that, so let's suppose, yeah, where is that? CMS. If ever you have an Excel sheet with all this data, with all the headers like these, event title, and it has to match with the headers, right? So then you can upload that particular thing over here with the import feature, and that will get populated like that, right? I know this might not be the right way where I'm drafting all the previous design events, but I should have archived it, but that's how I've structured it in the starting. So I've kept it that way. Quite lazy to do that, right? So this is how I add any new event onto the website. When it comes to pages, right? Let's suppose I have a couple of pages. I'll show you that. So this is how I have event organizer pages. If you come to that, that's not very well made, well designed as well. So this is where I'm curating all the event organizers. And over here, let's suppose, so you can also make different pages onto the website. Then past events, all the utility pages like password and F404. And there are CMS collection pages which you can make as a template as well, so that anytime that you want to make another page which has a simple looking, same looking UI, you can templatize it as well. So that's about the interface. If you have any questions on the interface part of it, that how do you want to see something like that, so you can put it up. We can take that up in the towards the end of the session. This is about the interface and the workflow of all design events. Uh, let's get to the hands-on part of it, right? So let's build this simple page. I always had this idea of making a bookshelf where I have started reading quite voraciously these days. So I'm reading Hindi literature, right? So always I had this idea of making a bookshelf where I can write reviews or what I'm reading currently. So just to have a track of that kind of. So this is a very simple page. There's nothing fancy about it. We could have made it fancy and all of that, but for an introductory session, I think that would have been an overkill. So over here, what we'll do, we'll have a nav bar, we'll have a hero section, we'll have 3 different CMS where we will put the data of what I'm reading currently, what I've read, and what is in my wish list to read. Okay, I'm too lazy to put all the new books, so I've just pasted that particular thing. So this is a Figma file for that matter. So I think let's get started on how to make this. Anything so far that you want me to talk about? Any questions, Karan?
No, I think we can just so one thing that I've learned using Webflow is that whatever you define at a larger breakpoint, that drifts down to the lower breakpoint as well.
Hmm.
So whatever properties you define at say desktop, they would
Hmm.
reflect in the smaller devices as well. But doesn't happen when you go the opposite way.
Yeah, yeah. So it's
So
like
just
top to bottom, but not bottom to top.
yeah, bottom to top approach is not there. So yeah, that is something that I would like to. And this is anyway structured like any other design software that we use, say
Hmm.
Figma. So in
Hmm.
that also we have the layers panel on the left hand side, which is our
Hmm.
navigator here,
Hmm.
and the properties panel on the right hand side. So if we click on any text, any layer,
Hmm.
its properties are reflected on the right hand side. Just the difference is that each one of these, each one of the elements, text, shape, and things like that, they have their own padding and their own margin.
Yeah.
So
So
that is something that, yeah,
yeah, so I'll tell you one thing, that if ever you look at it this way, right? This kind of interface looks very overwhelming in when you look at it in the first glance. But I'll tell you that okay, this can be overwhelming when you have little to no context on how you're going to structure around it. But once you get a hang of the interface, that's why I give you a walkthrough of the interface first. Once you get a hang of it, that becomes pretty easy, because all of that is that fits into the picture really well. So that's what I wanted to tell you guys. Yeah. So should we start building the page that I just showed you?
yeah, yeah, sure.
Sure. So I had already made. I was making just before this session. Okay, how can I structure it, right? So I'll make a fresh page out of it. So if ever you want to make a fresh page. So just you will have to go to this pages and you have to create a new page, right? Let's say we'll tell you we'll name this Shubham bookshelf. Let's say bookshelf only because Shubham's bookshelf is already made over there, right? There's
There's
no
there's one small question. So
yeah.
when you're typing the page name,
Hmm.
in it is coming as uh, alldesign.co/
Hmm.
bookshelf. So can I
Hmm.
change it later on? Can I
Yeah,
change
you
the
can.
page name later on?
Yeah, you can change that.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So there's this one good functionality about it. So whenever you're making portfolio websites, right? I'll just walk you through this. This is what I figured out recently, that they have added this password protection feature over here. So some of your projects is under NDA and you don't want to expose it to the public, right? So if ever you're making such pages, this password protection, sorry, this password protection things come in very handy, where you can put a password on the page, entire page. So this is great in that manner, right? So I've named the page as bookshelf. I can just, if ever, let's suppose you want to add something like that, right? So this will be your custom URL for that. From right now, I'll just keep it as bookshelf only. Now you have SEO settings. So this is how your website will come in Google. So you'll have to add a meta description. So I'll just add a, a repository of I am I have I am or have. Yeah. And this is open graph settings. I assume that this has to do with something GraphQL or something like, because Facebook and all of that uses GraphQL as their database, and it has to do something with that. Uh, Correct me if I'm wrong. So over here, so let's suppose if ever you want to have any kind of meta tag, meta description that you want to add, whenever you share your website onto these social media platforms, they fetch this kind of metadata to show as a preview, right? So you can alter that over here, and there are a lot of SEO settings that we won't be diving into because I haven't used those myself as well. Yeah. Once we are done, this is what you will require to create a new page. You will hit the create button. Okay, so now this is the blank canvas where we'll be doing the magic, not magic exactly. Yeah, so this is what we'll be building. Okay. Let's put this aside. Okay, so this is our body. So everything resides. So first, what we can do is to see what all we'll need. For the database, we'll need a schema, and I'll just show you that. In this particular website, there are one, two, three, four, five different sections, right? So first one is the nav bar, where this can be treated as one section. This is the second section where which we can call a hero section. This is where I'll curate my whatever I'm reading currently. This is where I'll curate whatever I have read and in what month. And this is where I'll curate my to read whatever I'll be reading next, right? So that way'll be needing three. I'll structure it like that. I'll need three different databases where the first thing where I'll put all the data which I am reading currently, and the second would be the red one, and the third like that. And the other thing that we'll need is custom input. We can very well integrate that with Mailchimp. I'll not do that right away in this particular session, but I'll leave you with some links where you can find it very easy to integrate Mailchimp over here or any other mailing software or SaaS for that matter, right? So we'll need five different sections, right? Okay. So let's suppose you want to have one section. Let's create one section. Uh, this is for navbar. I'll also have container. So container gives left and right margin to that. So because over here, if you see, we have left and right margin. So for that, we for responsive reasons, we cannot alter the width or the margin over here because that is set to auto. But we can give default paddings to the elements inside, right? Um, let's build a navbar. Now our website structure looks okay. Our website structure looks like there's a just a second. Is that, yeah, a body. There's one section where we'll be putting our nav bar. Now we'll have to find nav bar over here. So there is this. Where is the nav bar? Yeah.
I think you can use the shortcut Control
Hmm.
E. I use that
Okay.
to search for
Yeah,
different
sure.
elements.
So over here, I've got nav bar. So they give us default navbar. They have already sorted it for us. We don't have to build it from scratch. Let's see what we have in the design. We have summaries and favorites. So let's first edit that. So we'll delete it. Summaries and favorites. Okay. Over here, you can either put your brand name. You can either put your brand logo and all of that. I'll just put a heading, which will say Shubham's book sell. Let's do a heading. I can make it H3 or H3 for that matter. And Shubham's. Like this is why it's called as a visual editor, right? You don't have to delve into code and all of that. You just have to look at it visually and just design it that way. Now our navbar is pretty sorted. We'll change the color later on. Now let's see that we need one section where we'll put this hero thing, right? Generally, I should have put one more section, but I don't like that approach. So I'll just put one container again, right? So this is one container that is above. So if you see, this is one section where we have put, we can even give classes name to that. So let's suppose we'll say navbar. You can existing classes. Uh, you can name it navbar one. Need that actually. Okay, let's give this class nav. So this particular section is nav. Now, where's that
I
container?
think this is just like final design,
Hmm.
final
Yeah.
design dot final
Yeah.
final design.
Yeah. Now we'll make one more container in the body only. So let's say container, yeah, because everything is like everything has a left and right margin. So we'll make it like that. So I'll tell you one very important thing. There are two ways to do anything. The first thing is to do it the right way. The second thing is to make it work like that. So right now I'm going with I have that approach that okay to make it work. So this might not be the right way where because when you will do interaction and all of that you'll have to properly name your classes because that interactions depend on that. So right now we are not doing any interactions. So that's why I'm skipping the naming of classes and all of that. Okay, but you'll have to
Yeah,
take care of that once you want to include interactions. Yeah.
and
Yeah,
there's
Karan, you were
there's a
saying something.
question with Menka is asking that is there a logic why when to use container and when to use a section?
No such logic as such. You can very well use sections and all that. I find it easy to use container rather than sections, but there's no such logic.
Yeah, there's one thing that I learned from Webflow University that a section, it cannot have any type of grids or something. A container can have grids. So
Hmm.
in a section, it is usually aligned one below the other. So the structure goes something like a section, then inside it is a container, and inside it is a div block. So you
Hmm.
can learn that from Webflow University. The link is in the description. So they are, the proprietary body that gives out lessons on Webflow officially.
Hmm.
So you can learn from that. Because of want of time, we'll have to cut it short and just explain how the website is made.
Yeah. So like you said it right. The hierarchy is like that: section, container, and div. Over there, but right now, this is what works for me. So I just tend to skip sections. But the ideal way would have been to make one section, and then after that you have containers and div in that hierarchy. Right. Yeah. So for now, we'll have this kind of a thing. So inside that, I want a header, right? And also inside that, I want a paragraph to have the subtext, and below that, I want a form. If you see, this is a form block, right? I don't need a label. I only need one. I also don't need a label, right? So this is the raw structure looks like. So I'll just first edit the content. Mm-mm. Sneak peek into my bookshelf. Subscribe to get book recommendations. And this, yeah. Okay. The next thing that we will be doing is to have a background. So let's see what color it is. It is 2B, 2B, 2B. Let's copy that. Uh, Now, so this is the container that we have selected. Over here, you will see that there's this background property which is set to transparent right now. So I'll just put in, now if you see that there is a color, right? Uh, I'll just also make the whole thing. So typography, the color is 333. We'll just set it to white. We can do that with the entire body, I assume. Set everything to white. But I'm not sure why it's not happening, but we'll figure it out later. Navbar, it says that it's white. It also says that it's white. This should not have happened like this. Okay, just a second. Okay, the very first thing that we should do is to make the entire body color has to be this black. So let's just see what color it is. So body over here, that's white background. Putting it like this, right? Now I sorted. We'll also make the nav color as, yeah. We will give it some top margin. 40 will be correct, or maybe 60. Yeah, 40 will be correct. Uh, let's give it border radius. Sorry. Border radius over here, you can see the border section. I'll just make it 8 pixels. Yeah, that's perfect. Now centering, right now this is this must be some 60, like 38 pixel. Let's see what's in the design. 28 pixels, so we'll have to make it 28 pixels. Let's select this. Sorry. Over here you can do this. uh, Make it center aligned like that. So over here you will have to select layout as flex. So flex is a CSS property that you might need to look into display, but there's a tutorial for that. I won't be diving deep into the CSS property, but whenever you want to center it, I'll suggest you go to flex like that. Okay. Now this is where the thing comes into picture. Uh, So my hack to center it and make it look like this, I'll just share that hack with you. I don't know that if whether this is the right way or whether this is the right way or not. Okay, so I'll just make a div. I'll just put it inside. So you can drag and drop to the right side, and I'll just put this form block inside the div. Okay. Now this is fine. I'll put this into flex. And I'll just make it center. So if ever, I just told you, right? If ever you want to make anything center, go to this flex property, align it to center, and justify that particular property to center. So this will make it center. Now what happens is that this is an entire form block, right? So this particular thing is centered right now, but we want this particular button to be in line with this particular text box. Okay. So what we will do, we will have this property as just a second. Yeah, I'll just undo that. So what happens is that you go to this form 4 property, which selects this particular section. You go to flex, and this is where it is now. So that has made it inline. Now we have to make this button as per to this. So let's say that the height of this particular text box is 46, and the button is also 46. It should come like that. Yeah. We can also give height to this container. Let's see what's that in design. This is 327. Let's give it something like that. You can give 328 maybe. Oh, that looks too huge. Maybe we went to 80, or yeah, 280. That'll look 240. So we'll have to visually balance everything like that. Now, if you see that this has to come in center. Mm, yeah. So over here, when you see the spacing thing, so you can give padding to like this 20, 40, 60, maybe 60 looks better. Okay.
So can we not give auto to center it?
Sorry.
Can we not give auto spacing to center it?
We can give that. I'll just try. I think like this is the way it should be. But this is how I do it right like so far.
Okay,
As in
okay.
like yeah, I just manually give it the spacing, and then it aligns like that. Okay, now if ever you want to see how it looks like, how it can look like in this kind of a resolution, this is 1680 pixels, right? And if you want to see how it will look like in your tablet view, portrait view, and even in mobile, it breaks in the mobile view. So I'll show you how you can fix that. So let's first build for this, and then we'll go to the mobile view. I think like it's 6:40. We have good amount of time. Not good amount of time, but yeah, I'll just quickly do it. But we are mostly there. Now over here, if you want to see, if you want to add any placeholder, your email. So I'll show you again how you can do it. You can go to this small settings icon, and you add your email. This is whether this is a required field and all of that. And if you go to the all settings, this is where you can add custom inputs and all of that. Okay. Now we wanted to give it uh, a color which is 191414. Okay, so let's give it that color.
So
Typography. Yeah,
I
Karan.
think we can make the different sections first and then add some styling
Sure.
because we are
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. So basically, yeah, the structure is like that. Now, taking you to the part where the Webflow USP is adding databases. Okay. So these are the database. I've already created one database. So I'll just create a database. You will just have to create a new collection. Okay. So there are already templates around it where we want to create a blog post, categories, and all of that. You can use those templates, but we'll be creating a new template. So over here, if you see, there's this reading section where I have to put a book, right? So I'll just reading. I'll just make that collection name as reading. Uh, So here it will say reading page. This is the slug for that. We can alter that. Now, when someone asks that how can we add those properties, right? So over here, if you see that we need only an image property. Maybe in future, I would want to link it to a blog post or maybe an Amazon link. So I'll also require a link. But over here, if you see that I have an image, a text when I have read it, and maybe a link. So I'll require three properties, right? So I will first add one property which says this is how you can select a property which says that I have to have an image. I'll just say book image. Okay, whether this is a required field, yes, because without that the database won't be completed. Yes, save field. The other thing, basic info is name. Yes, we want that name. Slug will be whenever some person will click on it, the URL of that's what slug is, and maybe a link. So I'll just add a link. So I'll just say link. The label is link, and is that a mandatory field? Let's say yes. Okay. Now, once I have that, so my book image link is are the two properties that are required, and name and slug are the by default properties that are added to your. So this is how it will come. Whenever you will have to create a new entry into the database, you will have to enter the name. The slug will be created automatically. You will have to enter the book image and the link to it. Like I'll go to create collection. Okay, cool. Let's suppose I want to add one entry to it. So I'll just say, what's the book name? Masala Chai. Okay, Masala.
One small question here. Can we sync it with some Excel sheet or
Yeah,
some
yeah, sure.
other?
Yeah,
Um,
uh, I'll show you
okay.
that as well. So,
No, I was just
hmm.
okay. You have it.
No, no, this is not Excel sheet.
Okay.
You can do that for sure, but I'm just creating a new entry. So I'll just book. I have this link will be yes, yeah. Then you create. I'll show you how you can. So let's suppose if ever you want to create all these readings with the help of an Excel sheet, you will have to import a CSV over here with the same headers, and then that will be auto populated over there, right?
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Great.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and one other thing, one good thing about it is, let's suppose you have manually curated it over time, just like how I've done this all design events, right? So you can export that as well and make changes over there. So let's create one more. Uh, let's what's the other book? Mm, $1 billion startup and book image. Let's big billion. Uh, we'll also link it to Amazon.com for now. Then you create it. So now we have our database created. We have few entries over there. Let's see how we can populate that in the view. Okay. Let's again go to the page where we have said bookshelf. Now, what we'll do, where is that? Yeah, let's first. So we have two different sections. The first section is the nav bar. This other container is the hero section. Now we can add, we can even have, we can even make sections, but I prefer having the container out. So I'll just make a container because, so that it remains in the same left and right margin. I'll say, yeah, in that I require a heading and the collection. Okay. Uh, where is that? Yeah. So let's say I require a heading. I added a heading. I'm saying reading. I'll just what's the this 24 medium. One good thing is that you can add custom fonts to this as well. Right now I'm using Arial 24. You can. Oh, it's only as normal. No problem. Right now,
I
let's.
would like to say it's my best font to use is Comic Sans. So
Yeah, maybe, but I use Inter. Inter is a very beautiful font.
yeah, Inter. Even I have used so Inter is one. IBM Plex is another
Hmm.
one. You know,
Hmm.
great. And if you
Yeah.
need to use some mono font, then in Consolata is also great.
Hmm. Yeah. Now we have sorted our heading. Let's add the CMS block over here. This is a collection block, right? Now, oh, what's happened? Read in. So over here, I've selected the sources readings. We have, remember, we have created a collection name as readings that I'm currently, uh, oh, yeah, that I've currently reading. Now you can select the layout. You can have a 2-column layout. You can have a 4-column layout. You can have this much column, 6-column layout, right? I guess we would require 6-column layout for our thing. So let's have it. Now, now that your collection is sorted, right? Now, what we need inside a container is an image that will fetch image from our readings collection. So let's add an image. So collect if you want to see. Uh, let's second. Yeah, the images have come over here. If you want, I can do it again. So come here, add an image. Okay. Mm, now you can say you can either choose an image, or you can say get image from the readings. Remember, readings is our collection that we have created, the database that we have created. So now get image, we have selected that get image from readings, select field, where we have a field over there as book image. Now see, that has already come like that. Now you can get have all text, custom description or a decorative description. You can lazy load on scroll, a hell lot of settings, but we don't need that for now. So see, we have the readings collection. Now what we need to do is to add a link to it, because remember we have a link property as well. So over here, you will have a text link property. Oh, sorry. It should not be link. It's a link block.
So you
Oh,
can search for it. Just press Command E or Control E, whatever system you're using. इसमें search for it.
yeah. Thanks. Link block. Okay. Yeah. And now what we can do, we'll have to drag it inside that, and we'll, because this image has to reside in a link block, because the whole image has to, because right now it is, these are detached with each other, right? So what we can do, we can select this and we can drag it inside that like this. uh, I think, like, let's do it again. What we can do, we can select it and hover over it like that and drag it inside this like this. Okay. Now let's suppose I want to add links to that, that is directly coming from my readings database. So we'll say either we can have a custom URL, or we can say get URL from readings, select field, and we already had a property named as link over there. So that's coming, and we can say open in new tab, right? So let's see how our website looks like so far. We have the nav bar, we have the hero section, we have the reading, and we'll require two more databases. I already have the other database created. So, and I'll just show you how it looks in the, we'll fix this in a bit. Let's first build this, right? Let's add another database. We already have the database, right? So I'll again, so this is one container. We can name, uh, let's say, reading class. We can create a reading. So is uh, this is renamed nicely, and you get an idea. We can also have container 13. We can say hero. Sorry, what that? Hero already exists, so we can say hero 1,
Villain.
because yeah, because hero exists in some other page of that website, so that is fetching from there.
Okay.
Yeah. Now let's add another database. Let's add another section to this. We'll again
इसमें
go. Mhm,
इसमें what you can do is if you delete this
mhm.
just
Which one?
delete this
This
container
container?
and delete, yeah, the container that you just created, and if you press alt and drag this
Hmm.
reading container down, so you can also copy that
Yeah,
way.
yeah, sure,
It's
sure, sure.
similar to Figma and other design software.
That goes like that. But I want to just reiterate on the fact that, okay, how you can add the thing.
Okay, okay, sure, sure.
Yeah, yeah. I'll do that for the last one. So you cannot have a container inside a container. So we'll have to select the body again and say container. Okay. We'll add a name to it. Head. Okay. Uh, in that container, we'll again go through that drill. We'll add an heading, which will say head, and this will again have a property of 24. Okay, and this will not be bold, as it will be normal. Again, okay, let's add a CMS to this collection list. I have, okay, I'll add a collection as read books. Okay, so if you see, I have the database coming in. I also want a 6-column layout. Mm, and now I need an image. I'll have to select the collection, the lowest collection item, and below that I need an image. So everything is in a hierarchy format. Okay, I'll have an image. So we saw we have the images. We'll say get images from read books. We'll say book image. We got those images. Uh, we'll drop a link as well. Now we have these images. Hmm. So this is how it looks right now. We'll have to add a bottom padding to it. Yeah. So if you see, we have an image. We also had if you see in design, we also have this particular thing. When I have read it, so we'll add that as well. Uh, in this particular section, we'll say a, a text block and get red field red in October. Not sure. Maybe because of the streaming and all of that, it's not coming like that. Okay. I'll first add to this particular thing. What happened? Uh, I don't know.
You're adding
What?
into the bottom, top
Yeah.
right and down.
I want to add it to the bottom only, no?
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So over here, if you see, we have the red section. We'll just make it center aligned. So everything is center aligned. Just one last thing that we need to do is to add a link block. I'll use your trick, Karan. Link block.
It's not a trick, shortcut.
Yeah, shortcut. So we'll have it like this. We'll restructure it. Oh, we don't need this. Text like that. We'll
And
get this. Yeah.
there's a question Menka is asking that if the field doesn't match the item in CMS, does it throw an error or will it just
As
crash?
It will throw an error.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll say get URL from red notes, red books, link, and then open a new tab. Okay. So I think we are pretty much there. Just one bit. I'll just change the color of this particular button and some border radius, but that some that somehow looks like this. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Cool. I'll just change the color to this. That's it. And I'll just walk you through how you can structure it in the mobile. We'll just do some basic thing over here. I need the color for this. Sorry, the color is this. I'll just directly copy it.
There's one more thing. If you don't want to, go inside the element and see the color, just
Hmm.
go to the artboard, go click on the frame, and then you can see the color, red color.
Sure. Uh,
Selecting color. There's
Background. So
typo.
background is
Hmm.
blue. So we'll say red,
Right.
and we'll yeah. We can even say red and all of that over there as well. So border radius, we want some 4 pixels. So over here, if you want to see, if you want, because right now we don't want the top right, so we'll do 0 and this one as well. Yeah. Here, if you see, there's and same goes for 4 pixel. We want this. We don't want this 0 and 0, and we'll just say the name to be subscribe. Pretty much looks like that. I hope we can even have, yeah, right. Uh, so that pretty much looks like this. We have the different section. We can also change the font if you want. You can say enter. No, okay, we'll have to select the whole body and we'll just change the font to enter.
And all the fonts from Google Fonts are available here. And if
Yeah.
some fonts are not, you can import it.
Hmm. Yeah, you can do that. So our web is sorted, right? Somehow sorted on that. The This is how the tablet will look like. We'll sort it out. The landscape mode. We'll just have it like this. Over here, what you can do, you can style your mobile page individually. So what I can do is just to make this smaller, right? So this won't get reflected in your web view, because whatever you'll do over here will be propagated to all these thing, but whatever you'll do in the least, the mobile and all of that, will won't get propagated to like backwards. So that's the good thing
Higher,
about it.
yeah, higher breakpoints would be affected from smaller.
Yeah, so I also need to have the heading smaller, maybe, and do it center aligned. Hmm, yeah, like this. Okay, and this looks pretty much better. Have it center aligned. I also want this to be center aligned. So whenever I've given you a trick, whenever you want anything center aligned, just just do flex and maybe some 40 pixel and all of that. So if you see, this is, we can reduce the margin over here, like we have given 60, we can say it to be 20 or 28 maybe. Yeah, you can
Okay.
give your this thing in percentages as well. So if you select this tiny little thing, you can give in percentages, EMs and all of that. So that's also there.
Mm,
I hope you're not breaking anything. And yeah, right, same goes for this. Hmm,
Flex Pro.
flex center. This is has gone inline. Somehow I'll have to
इसमें
fix that. Yeah.
I think direction vertical करके हो सकता है. You can change the direction to vertical. नहीं
Yeah.
हुआ.
Uh,
Okay.
I have figured it out. I'll just publish this template and all of that by fixing it. Yeah. I think we've
Okay.
already passed 1 hour, but this is
Yeah.
how basically you can do it. So this is how you can say bookshelf. This is how the website looks like. This is how the design was. We can create another section like that, same way, right? And we can link it. These are the summaries. We can create new pages and have these summaries in favorite section. We can integrate this with MailChimp and all of that. Yeah, and we can have different views and this like that. Yeah, and one more thing that I wanted to show you about this was what was that? Around the pricing, I'll just walk you through that. So this is the website. This is how. Any questions on that?
There's one question. Is the CSS that you build on Webflow also reusable in other existing websites?
If ever you opt for the paid plan, you can export that code. If that's what you're
Hmm.
talking about, and I'm understanding it correctly. So you can, if ever you can get the code, you can. That's very much reusable. But you can. So let's suppose if ever I want to use this particular thing, right? I can just copy paste this thing and paste it in another page, and I'll create a new page over here and just paste it directly. So that way it's sorted. You can directly copy paste in the entire thing.
Yeah, but the CSS that we use is pretty much standard. And I mean, industry level stuff is used for
Yeah.
even no code building platforms.
Yep. And you don't, majority of the times, you will not require to write any custom CSS over here.
Hmm.
Though you can write it, but your custom body attributes and all of that. But majority of the time, you won't require that. Only and until
Yeah.
if you want to have some sort of integration, interactions or animations that are not there. In that case, you might need that.
Right.
Yeah, and I think I should have covered the this section and highlighting it that, but then that's pretty evident. You just need to select it and select the state, hover state and all of that, style the background like that, or whatever you want to do with that. Okay.
Yeah, I think
uh
they'd be good with the Webflow University platform.
yeah, yeah. Uh, okay. So let's what's resources to learn Webflow. I don't think that you will require anything apart from the Webflow University. That's
Um,
pretty great. That you will have everything that is required for you to learn. Those are very basic, not more than 5 minutes of crisp tutorials. and everything.
That
But yeah, yeah, Karan.
yeah, they're really really funny also.
Yeah,
I
they're really
really
funny
like
as well.
their narration,
Yeah,
and all of it is free. The
yeah.
biggest thing is that all of it is free. You can learn. They have various courses for you to, there is a freelancer course, there is a e-commerce course that you can, build a website for freelancing or for e-commerce from scratch.
Hmm.
So that is
Yeah,
something that I saw.
sure. And one pro tip that I would want to give you is in the beginning, whenever you'll try Webflow for the very first time, it can be very intimidating and very overwhelming. But I will suggest you to just hang in there, do whatever you can, or just like this is the way I have figured out this particular website, this particular builder to work for me. The same way, and all of that. Whenever I used to get stuck somewhere, then only I used to go to the Webflow University and then check it out. Otherwise, I have figured it out basically just by just checking the options, like what does this particular thing does and all of that. So I have no formal training on this. So that's why my whatever I'm doing currently is may not be the best way to do it, but that works for me, and that's how I've structured it. So yeah, that's the disclaimer that I wanted to give. I have already given in the starting, but the best part is that it works. And the more just don't go for the perfection whenever you are trying to build something out of this. Just try it out, because it can be overwhelming. And let's suppose you go to the Webflow University and watch all of that videos, and all of that, it is sudden bombardment of a lot of knowledge, but you have not applied anything. So I would suggest you to just hang in there and have a walkthrough of interface and check it out, like okay, what this option does and what that option does. And within like 1 week or even 2 or 3 days dedicated to it, you will be there and you will be confident on that. So
Yeah,
just yeah,
even
yeah,
you remember I called you once that I'm
yeah.
not able to understand it. But after that, I started using it, and it actually, started making sense and started making a very structured approach for me.
Yeah, yeah.
So
And
I hung in there.
yeah. And the other thing, other pro tip would be to look into some of the existing templates. That's the mistake that I've done when I was learning Webflow, because that makes it very easier to see how other people have structured it. That would have given me best practices on how I should be structuring it. But since I have figured it out on my own, majority of it, so that's where my processes and all of that are not very structured, but that's just works for me, and that's how I want it to be.
Right.
That's other thing. The Chetan's template, I think that's very well structured, and there are a lot of templates in the Webflow website as well. So maybe you can check that as well. And one other thing that
Right.
I would want to mention over here, that unlike WordPress and all of that, WordPress comes for free, a majority, but you'll have to pay for the hosting and all of that. But Webflow can be very costly, because if ever you see this particular website that I've built, it has costed me around 16K, because I'm on a CMS plan where I am using the database for it. It is costing me 16K along with the domain and all of that, because I've bought a .co domain. So that can be costly, and the pricing is not.
Or
Yeah, so there are two plans to it right now. One is agency plan, where you can get custom billing and all of that, and you can build multiple website onto that, but it has some sort of restrictions in terms of CMS. But the other plan is site plan. So well, let's suppose you build some site on Webflow, now you want to move it to your custom domain and have your code and all of that. So you can add that plan to your particular site, and that will be applicable for one site only. So that can be
right.
costly, but the other thing is, the good thing is that they are providing the free plans as well, where you can have two projects. And I've seen, because there's a good demand in the industry generating out of this, but that I've seen that okay, there are openings for Webflow developers as well. Just like WordPress developer, WordPress was a rage back in time. WordPress still a rage. So Webflow is good. You can create landing pages and all of and whatnot out of this. The possibilities are immense. Just that when you are going for the paid plan, it can be a little expensive. So that's the only demerit that I have found out. Otherwise, it's pretty great, pretty cool, pretty neat, and you can try it out for sure.
Yeah, and
Thank you guys. Yeah,
16,000. Oh. was for 1 year.
Yeah,
Just so
16.
people know.
Yeah, 16,000 is for 1 year, but what's included is that you don't have to pay for hosting. You don't have to pay for any SSL, that
Hmm.
HTTPS that comes into your address bar. You don't have to pay for that. And uh, in uh, in this 9 months of journey of using Webflow, I purchased the plan in March. I have not encountered any downtime on my website. So that way, the server optimization and all of that are very great, right? So if ever you have a pretty good use case where you want to sell it to a client, or then I think that makes sense to go for a paid plan. But if ever you're making it for a personal website, I think you can live with the webflow.io domain.
There's a question that is CMS included in the free plan or not?
CMS is included in the free plan, but that has some limitation. I think like you can create only 10, 12. I'm not very sure about it, but there is some limitation on the blogs that you can create. Over here, when I
Hmm.
have purchased the paid plan, I think I have 1,000 blogs. I can create data up to 1,000 or something like that. But yes, that has
Okay,
some
okay,
limitation, but it has CMS. You can just play around with the CMS part.
okay, okay, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was all from this session, right?
Yeah. So
Okay, yeah.
if you want any help in the pricing and all of that, if you want me to like look into some specific queries, remember I am also learning it, so we can figure it out together. I have some experience in that, but not much. We can figure it out together. So if ever you want, you can reach either to Karan or me directly. That will be
Yeah,
great.
we have all the links in the description. Shubham's LinkedIn is in the description, and his all events website is also in the description. So yeah, you can reach out to us. And yeah, this
Yeah.
was it from this session. I think this was a great concluding session for anyone who started from design and is now looking for a website portfolio. And yeah, I think I'll see you guys next year at the starting of next year. So thank you so much, and thank you, Shubham. Anything that you want to say?
Yes, congratulations for your season one wrap, Karan.
Yeah, thank
That
you.
was like, I think the community has been, including me, has been very grateful for your sessions and all of that. Because Figma as a
Yeah.
tool, you are doing a great job. And guys, congratulate Karan for being the Figma design advocate for the New Delhi chapter. So he's the
Yeah,
Figma advocate for that. So if ever you are in if you're in Delhi, you happen to be in Delhi, just meet, and I think like Karan will organize something in near future. Yeah,
right. I'm figuring out how to, I'm doing it with some other, I'm co-leading it. So I'm planning out how to form a group. So as soon as I get the particulars, I'll form a group. And yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for the support, everyone. I'll come up with some new type of sessions. I already have some ideas. I'll discuss it with some people around, and then come back in a month or two. So yeah, thank you everyone, and I hope you have a great week ahead. And thank you, Minka. Thank you, Jahan. Thank you everyone who has been attending regularly, and thank you, Shubham. Everyone
thank
has
you so
been
much, man.
supportive. I
Pleasure,
hope,
pleasure, my pleasure.
yeah, yeah. I hope we'll get to collaborate in the future as well.
For sure, man, for sure.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Have a great
Thank
week
you,
ahead
everyone. Yeah.
and good night.